I think it counts us down. Oh, we are live.
We're
We
live.
are live, ladies. Awesome. All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our HMR Facebook Live Thursday night. Glad you're all joining us. If you are joining us, and I assume you are if you're watching this, I'm Sandi, and I'm joined by fellow health coach and colleague Jennifer.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello. We've also got a couple of fantastic guests with us. We've got Mary and Nicole. Say hello, ladies.
Hi.
All right. Well, we've just had such a great time getting to know the two of you. And we've just been so impressed by your journeys, your stories, and both of you have lost a significant amount of weight and transformed your lives during COVID. I know we titled our event tonight, I Got My Life Back During a Pandemic. An incredible feat, what you both have pulled off. And I know everyone viewing, all of us here today, can agree that this has been quite a year, really. So many struggles. So many people have struggled with keeping up healthy behaviors or even thinking about starting a program for weight loss. And it's been tough. I just want to acknowledge that. But we want to showcase the two of you tonight, our guests, because you've gotten into complete action, and we're going to be hearing all about it in just a moment. And before we get into it, let's just welcome those viewers who are with us already. Let's see.
We've got several folks, Sandi, already here. We've got Jennifer.
Awesome.
Rick's on with us.
Great.
Bob from
Rancho Cucamonga. Got to do that every week. It's just too fun.
I know. Nancy's here. Susan. Dana's here.
Hey, Dana. Awesome.
Great.
Well, great. We are going to keep an eye. Yeah, Coach Kate is going to be our moderator, our narrator on our event tonight, and she'll be answering any questions and just reemphasizing some of the points we make tonight. So thank you, Kate. Nancy's on with us as well. So great to see so many people joining already.
Oisin's here. Melissa, Candace, Lori. Wow.
Awesome. Great. I see 46 people already tuned in, waiting with bated breath to see what Nicole and Mary have for us tonight.
Well, let's get right into it then, shall we?
Let's go.
So, when we spoke earlier, Nicole and Mary, one of the things that just really stood out to us was how many parallels there are in your journeys. And I think we counted at least 7, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm sure a lot of our viewers can relate to is that you both tried many other weight loss programs before coming to HMR. And eventually, it really took something pretty major in your lives to have you make the decision to get started with HMR. So, we'd love to have you talk about this a little bit. We'd actually love our viewers to comment, what was it that had you make the decision to come to HMR and get started? And Nicole, why don't we start with you? Why don't you paint the picture for us? Tell us, what was it like before HMR? What was happening in your life that made you decide to get started?
Well, before I got pregnant with my first son, which was 10 years ago, I had just lost a bunch of weight, like over 100 pounds on my own. I did the South Beach diet, and then I was a smoker at the time. So I quit smoking and got pregnant and gained 88 pounds with him. And then I had 2 more pregnancies after that. And throughout that whole 10 years, I was just at the heaviest I had ever been. And every diet that I did, whether it was Weight Watchers or, low carb or low fat or any type of diet, I would lose a little bit and then gain a little bit, lose a little bit, gain a little bit. And I would work out here and there, walking or, mild exercise. And I would get so frustrated because I felt like it was pointless to exercise because I wasn't losing weight. And then I had started telling myself, well, I'll just have a little bit on the weekends or, whatever. And I can see now what I was doing wrong, but at the time I felt like I was doing everything right. And then when I was 42, I got pregnant with my last baby. She's 20 months now. And the day that we left the hospital, I got home and I didn't feel great, but I just kind of thought, I just had a baby. I just had a C-section. I'm not supposed to feel great, but I just felt like something was off. And as the day went on, I realized I couldn't even walk to the bathroom. I was stopping to like catch breath. And I told my husband, we should probably go back to the hospital. Something doesn't feel right. It was my first C-section. So I thought maybe I was getting a pulmonary embolism or something. And when we went back, we found out that I was in heart failure. I had a condition called peripartum cardiomyopathy. And at the time I was so heavy, they didn't know if I could get a CT scan because of my weight. The whole thing was just awful and humiliating and terrifying when you have a newborn baby and you're being told by all of these specialists while you're in ICU that you might not make it. So it was an awful experience. But when I got home, I said, gosh, I was always one of those people that felt like bad things won't happen to me. And that was kind of a wake-up call. I had gestational diabetes with 2 of my pregnancies. And my OB said, you'll probably get type 2 diabetes. And that's when I thought, well, I really need to make a change here. So again, I tried it on my own, and then COVID hit. And every single time I opened up the internet, it was about overweight people being at high risk for COVID. And that terrified me. Like that was probably the point where I thought, I can't do this by myself. And I just started Googling like fastest ways to lose weight. And I went to a couple of like different clinics that had like pregnancy hormones and different types of diets that you could do. And HMR was one of them. I went to the clinic there. And during the intake session, I just felt like the people on the wall looked like real people. They looked like I looked like. The health educator wasn't pressuring me to do anything. She was just telling me about the program. And it just felt like a good place for me. So that's how I ended up there.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. A couple of folks are just really saying they've kind of been there where what you're describing. I know Jennifer says, wow, I've been there. So sorry, Nicole, with what you went through. It sounds pretty scary.
Oh, it was awful. It was terrifying. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
Especially with a new baby.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Oh, goodness. Wow. Well, tell us about that moment when you decided to just really jump in with both feet. I know you mentioned you went to the clinic. There were people, pictures on the wall. People were looked just like you. You got the information and something clicked. This is what I want to do. And I wonder if you might just, we might have people watching who are just kind of checking things out. What can you share that really, I know you mentioned a couple of things, but what was that one thing that just pushed you over the edge to have you jump in?
Honestly, when I had researched the program on my own, it looked to me just as somebody that was Googling that I was only going to be allowed to have shakes. Oh. So when I went, I had really convinced myself, like, I can do this. I can live on shakes. And then when I found out that I also got to eat entrees, that I was just like, sign me up. Because that was such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
That was kind of like my signing point.
Yeah. But we often have different diet options, whether you're in the clinic or in the at-home program. So if somebody's out there and they're only seeing the one option, chances are we have a couple of different things to point you in the direction of.
I like that too. I felt like I had a lot of different choices and I could change those choices at any time, depending on where I was at in my journey or, with my kids and busy and work. And it just felt like I had a lot of options.
Yeah.
Great.
I just noticed Susan commented, she said, thank you for sharing, Nicole. That must have been really scary, but also what a big why.
Yeah. Really big why.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. So Mary, we'd love to hear from you as well. Kind of what was life like before HMR and what was sort of that catalyst for you that had you knowing that, boy, it was time to get into action and get started?
Yeah, so like Nicole, I had tried pretty much my entire adult life to lose weight different ways. I've lost track of the number of times I was on Weight Watchers, and I could be successful on that, but then I always gained back and I would gain back more, but I'd get to like the same size. So I was like, okay, it's okay, because I didn't get any bigger than last time, but I was getting denser, and, I my entire adult life, I have been overweight, but talked to different doctors at one point and another. And when I was in my 30s, I remember having, a bunch of blood tests and everything done. And they told me at one point, you're the healthiest fat person we've ever seen. We've exhausted all the medical reasons you should lose weight. So then in my mind, it was like, okay, I don't really have to, because they said I'm healthy. So what's the problem? It's not a big deal.
Mm.
And then as I got older, I'm not as young as Nicole. I'm in my 50s and began to develop a lot of pain in my knees and was diagnosed with arthritis, which clearly being overweight puts a lot of extra, stress on the knees. I'm a teacher and I teach on the second floor. And a couple of years ago, it had gotten so bad in one of my knees, I couldn't use the stairs anymore.
Mm.
I could only use the elevator to go to my classroom. And, I teach in a pretty tough urban school. And I was terrified of being trampled on the stairs in a fire drill.
Oh,
And it was to the point I couldn't leave the building in a fire drill anymore, because I was on the second floor. So I would stay in the safe room. And if I had a class, somebody else had to take my class.
Mm.
And I knew I needed this knee replacement operation. I was in a lot of pain every day, like having a difficult time even walking around the building. And I felt like I was very old. I was, mid 50s, but I was old.
Mm.
And I was not mobile and I didn't like the way that I was living. Um, I had been to a surgeon. I didn't click with that one, and I sought out a new orthopedic surgeon. And, he said the same thing the other one said. He just said it in a gentler, nicer way, in a more supportive way. And he said, you have to lose weight. He said, I know this is difficult, that you need to lose weight, but you can't move, but I can't do the surgery until you lose the weight.
Yeah.
You must have felt stuck at that point, I'm sure.
Yeah,
bit.
it was very frustrating. And then I said, no, I know I can do this on my own. It was like in November. And I said, okay, and he mentioned HMR. I don't think he mentioned HMR. He mentioned the clinic at the hospital. And I thought, I don't need a clinic. I know how to lose weight. I've done this before. I know I can lose weight. So I said, let me try it on my own, and scheduled a follow-up appointment. And I came back in the beginning of February. And I was in agony by that point.
Mm.
And I said, how soon can we schedule it? I said, I can't do this anymore. And I'm immobile, and, it's impacting me more and more every day. And he just sadly shook his head. And I had gained weight over the holidays instead of losing. And he said, I can't do it until you've lost the weight. And can I suggest again, maybe that you look into, and I sat and cried in his office. I felt hopeless and helpless. And I thought, I guess I've hit the bottom, and what do I have to lose? I can at least go to the information meeting. So I did, and I looked at the different options. Again, like you said, Nicole, there were different options. And I thought, I can do this. This is structured. Like, and if this is what I have to do to get myself to being able to have this knee surgery, then this is what I'm going to do. And so I did. And that was February last year. And I started in March. I didn't mean to start during a pandemic. There wasn't a pandemic when I went to the information meeting. But there was as soon as I started. And so that's when I started it. But it was just, I felt like I had hit rock bottom, and it was the only thing left for me to do in order to be able to have the surgery. And I was in such agony, and getting so limited. I just had to do it.
Compelling.
like-
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
just love
Sandy.
that neither one of you used the pandemic as an excuse not to take action. You just went for it anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What were you going to
It
say,
sounds
Jen?
like you just had like such a turning point, and it took a lot of courage to go to the clinic and decide, I think I need some help with this. You were getting so many comments where people are just saying, so generous of you to share the story. People can really relate to how exhausting chronic pain is. I've seen several comments about that. It's so, so, so true. Absolutely. Sandi, is it time for a picture?
I think so. Those were, I was on the verge. I was going to wipe at my eye, but I didn't want to start a floodgate of tears. So, but it is,
Make me cry.
heart-wrenching to hear what you were both going through prior to the program. But here you are on the other side, and I want to start by I'm gonna parse these out. You don't get all the before and after pictures at once. So we're gonna start with Mary's before and after picture. And for those who are with us, our viewers, if you're just joining, we're talking with Mary and Nicole. They've both lost around 85 pounds and over this last year during this pandemic year, and both have echoed that they feel like they got their life back. And Mary, I have to say, I fully enjoy all the pictures that you put in our Facebook community group, but we're just going to share 2 today. And so let me just share my screen, and this will be Mary's before and after, a couple of pictures out of many that we enjoy you sharing on our Facebook group. So here she is, gorgeous in both pictures. But what a
Aaron says you're
transformation.
such an inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah. Picture tells 1,000 words, right? I mean, look at you.
It's
Gorgeous.
hard to look at that before picture. It really is.
Is it? Yeah.
You're just radiant
You
on the
are.
right-hand side. Just amazing.
We started this talking about, the fact that the 2 of you have just so many parallels, along your journey, similar experiences. And we were looking through some of your pictures, and you might find this funny, but see the shoes that Mary's wearing in the picture on the right? Nicole,
Yeah.
you have a pair of very similar shoes in one of your pictures.
That's funny.
An eighth.
That's 8.
An eighth.
That's
I know. Oh, too funny. Too funny. It won't be featured today, but I just want to let you know that. Oh, so great. So
Tanya
great.
says, wow, you did fantastic.
Thank you.
Aaron says, amazing. Jennifer, what a
Awesome.
difference, Mary. Oh,
Yeah.
so inspiring.
Yeah, and we do want our viewers to continue to add in, just anything that's striking to you about these ladies and their journeys. Maybe it's conjuring up memories of, what life was like before HMR and what had you, make the decision to start the program. We'd love to hear anything anyone would like to comment about in the feed there. So please, 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 we invite those comments. All right. Well, let's move into, okay, so you made the decision to start. You get into your phase 1 group. Phase 1, for those who aren't in the program, phase 1 is that weight loss phase, that dedicated weight loss phase. And Nicole, I know that you're doing the decision-free diet. You're still on decision-free, which means just HMR products, no fruits and vegetables yet. So very streamlined, very few decisions to make around food. And so we would love to hear about your experience in phase 1. And again, there's going to be some striking commonalities between the 2 of you. But I do want to say, first of all, congratulations to both of you on the incredible weight loss you've achieved so far.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. And during a pandemic. So let's hear what it was like. Let's start with you, Nicole. What was it like starting the program and going along through the months in phase 1? Just tell us what it was like.
It was actually really easy for me. I like it so much, I don't want to leave. It's probably time to transition to phase 2, but I'm just so comfortable here that I haven't done it yet. But I never really had a hard time with the program. It was never hard for me to stay in the box. My husband and I, we travel quite a bit with our kids. We camp every weekend in the summer, and it was always easy for me to bring my foods. It's actually easier for me than real life is because I don't have to do any thinking. I can just, grab a box of food. I always leave something in my car. I've always got something in my purse. I do vegetables. I'm on decision free, but I do 3 servings of fruits and vegetables a day.
Oh, okay.
So I started that after I had lost 10% of my body weight. But it's always been really easy for me and super motivating because when I first started, the weight came off so fast. And I started to see so many health differences right away. Like within the first month, all of my blood work was back to normal. I was no longer pre-diabetic. Like all of these amazing things were happening. So staying motivated was just so simple. And that is something that I had never, ever had happen to me on anything that I've tried before.
Wow.
So I haven't gone out of the box yet. I started July 15th.
Great.
Well, actually, no, I take that back. I had COVID a couple weeks ago and I was in the kitchen and my smell just went away and I panicked and I just started tasting like whatever food I saw to see if I could still taste. But that's the only time I went out of the box.
Wow.
Well, it's so great to hear you have such a connection with your group. You want to give them a shout out in case they're watching?
It's the best class ever. They are the most creative people when it comes to HMR food, and they have literally saved me so many times because I don't have time to look up recipes and I just need something quick and easy and convenient. And they kind of do all the work for me. So they come to class with all of these great recipes and they bring us treats to try. They make lemon tarts and energy balls. They're just the best group of people. And they've been so helpful because you need variety when you're eating the same types of foods in decision free on phase 1. So they just have opened up the huge menu for me of different choices. And so I never feel deprived. There's, I constantly like text with them after class. We send Facebook recipes. They're the best people ever.
And don't they have a name?
We're the air fryer group.
Air fryer class. Air fryer group.
Yeah, we put everything in the air fryer.
Okay. Favorite thing that goes in the air fryer. What is it?
I don't know if I can pick one. Can I give you 2?
Okay, 2.
Because I have 2. So the first thing is the enchiladas. The first time I tasted them, I couldn't do it. Like I did not like the enchiladas microwaved at all. And I was bummed because that's my favorite food. But if you put them in the air fryer, they are fantastic. I eat them every single day. They come out super crispy, really, really good in the air fryer. And then my second favorite, because I miss breakfast food. I'm a breakfast girl. And I felt like I didn't have a lot of breakfast options because I was eating the oatmeal every day.
Yeah.
So if you take the mushroom risotto and you put it in the air fryer with diced potatoes, it's like a breakfast hash and it's so good. I eat it every single weekend.
And I think the mushroom risotto has a little bit of like a breakfast sausage taste.
It does.
To it.
It really does.
That so works. Yeah. Fabulous. Well, great to hear. And, I know as a result of your work in phase 1, you've seen not only weight loss, but health improvements you've talked about earlier. Thanks for sharing it. It's one of the commonalities you have with Mary is the love of the air fryer. So we can mark that off as a parallel that you both share. How about you, Mary? Talk about your phase 1 experience.
So my phase 1, I started with decision free. I wanted that quick weight loss as fast as possible. The not having to think about anything sounded really good to me. And I was like, yep, I can get there as quick as I can and have the surgery. And that started like on a Tuesday. And by the next week, COVID had shut everything down. And the doctor put us all on healthy solutions. He said, nope, nobody can do decision free. We can't meet in person. I've been doing this since March of 2020, and I have not met my coach in person yet. We've been completely on Zoom the entire time. So I was forced into healthy solutions and not happy about it that day, that first week. And then I thought, well, this is kind of nice. I like having all these fruits and vegetables, and this gives me a lot of options. So it was literally, like within that first week, I was confined to my apartment, teaching from home, not seeing anybody. And I thought, oh Lord, how am I going to do this? I'm like sitting home
Yeah.
all day, but I had done my environmental control. I didn't have anything in the house other than HMR foods. And I just made the decision to take advantage of, okay, we can't see anybody. We can't socialize. We can't go out to dinner anywhere. This is all the food that I have here. I'm like, the only thing I can do is like leave my apartment and go walk around the complex. So I'm going to walk, even though it hurts, I'll do it a little at a time. And I'm going to try to be creative with this food. And I started, figuring out what I could do with the fruits and vegetables. I joined a CSA, so I was getting good fresh vegetables.
Great.
I ate a rutabaga for the first time, and now my group jokes about, I'm the rutabaga queen, and I've gotten all these people to try rutabagas.
Do they go in the air fryer?
They do. I make
Really?
rutabaga fries in the air fryer. And
Oh
they're
my
awesome.
gosh. I was joking. I'm gonna have to try it. I saw them at the farmer's market Saturday and I'm like, what do I do with a rutabaga?
Do it.
I might have to
Anything
try
you
that.
can do with a potato, you can do with a rutabaga. Try it
Oh.
with like smoked paprika in the air fryer. Oh,
Mhm.
delicious.
Oh, yum.
So yeah, like that was some of my entertainment, honestly, at the beginning of COVID, was learning how to cook new fruits and vegetables and take pictures of it and post it in the Facebook group.
We loved seeing those food pictures.
Gorgeous.
So it
Absolutely.
took let's see, from March to like June, and I lost 35 pounds.
Mm.
And got in touch with my surgeon, and I said, I know I don't have another appointment scheduled till mid July, but could we meet sooner? And my mind started going, like thinking we'd go back to school full time in September. And I thought, have I lost enough? I said, I think I've lost enough that I could have the surgery. And could we move it up? Could we do it soon enough so I'd be ready to go back to school in September? And so he saw me in person and he was delighted. He couldn't believe how much weight I had lost.
Mhm.
He's young. He's like my son's age. It's like having a little boy do your surgery, but and he was the one who really had pushed me to the program. So I was very thankful to him, and he was so excited. And he literally scheduled my surgery within 2 weeks.
Mm.
And they had
Wow.
just started up elective surgery. And he said, if you can go to this hospital, which was very convenient for me. And he said, I'll do it in 2 weeks, which was
Wow.
scary, but exciting.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, this is really going to happen. And so I had surgery July 9th and had a total knee replacement.
Wow.
Wow.
So recovery from surgery was one of the only times I was out of the box, just because I was so sick from anesthesia. But within a week, I was straight back onto the plan. And
It's incredible.
and just there I was, like on a walker, hobbling around my apartment, like can't go out and do a walk, like focus on, like I was just like, okay, I'm focused, like this is my whole job right now, is to do what I need to recover from this knee surgery. And I was focused on being ready to go back to school in September. And then in August, my son and his girlfriend decided that they were going to get married, and they wanted to get married in October.
Mhm.
And I was like, what? So, okay. So, off we went into wedding planning mode. And I thought, well, thank God I started this program in March and I've lost all this weight. I didn't know I was preparing for a wedding, but
Yeah.
there it came. And so that then became a motivation to keep going. Like the original motivation was lose enough to have surgery, and I could have stopped there. And the doctor at the clinic said, I'd be happy with, he's like, by any measure of success, like you were successful and you could stop here and be fine. I was like, no, now there's a wedding in October. Like, now I want to look good. I'm like, okay, what can we,
Yeah.
so that became the motivation, not only for the physical therapy, but for the continued weight loss
Mm.
and sticking with the program.
Great.
So like I had a really emotional experience with my daughter-in-law going shopping for a wedding dress. for my mother the bride dress, and went to the bridal shop, and the lady pulls it and she looks me over and like, she says, I think this size. And she brings dresses. I'm like, I haven't worn that size since like just when I got out of college. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you sure? Because I was still wearing baggy, whatevers. And I was into a size of dress I hadn't worn in 30 years,
Wow.
which was crazy.
Incredible.
And
We have a comment here, actually. I remember a beautiful photo of you dancing at the wedding.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
yeah.
And didn't
like,
you
that
have a
became-
situation where somebody didn't recognize you at that event, or was that a different event?
No, there were multiples related to that event. So we had a shower for them. It was a drive-by shower, and my son's best friend from high school came because he was going to be his best man. And I've known this guy since he was 14, and they're like 29 now. And he came up at the shower, and of course I had a mask on because COVID, but he sort of walked by me, and then I said, hey, Pat, how you doing? And he turned around and he looked around, and then I talked again, and he looked, he goes, wait a minute. He had no idea who I was, and I've known him for 15 years. And, and a few weeks later, we get to the wedding, and I walked up, dressed, ready, came out ready to go to the rehearsal dinner. And he was out on the deck, and he didn't know me again. Like he was, he goes, I honestly, he says, I had no idea who you were again when you walked up.
Wow.
And then wedding day, this one's kind of funny. I saw, my parents were there, and they had come up and were sitting, and my former in-laws, I've been divorced for 20 years, and my parents were sitting and talking with them. And I thought, I'll go be sociable. I'll talk to them. And went down and had a nice conversation with them. And I heard later that after I walked away, my former father-in-law looked at my former mother-in-law and said, who was that woman?
Oh,
She says, that was Mary.
Oh,
He says, that was Mary? He didn't know who I was.
oh my goodness.
amazing. Amazing.
Well, I'm glad you told us who you are. This is an incredible story, and we've enjoyed it going through the journey with you, as you've shared so much and been so open in our Facebook group, and
Yeah.
they've been so supportive of you, and vice versa. You are just a key member of that group in the way you
It helps
encourage
me.
others.
Honestly, it does. The posting helps me.
Incredible. Well, I have to tell you, in the comments, there's a lot going on around the air fryer subject.
There is.
What are you seeing there, Jen?
Lots of comments. How long do you cook those rutabaga fries?
Out of all you
Rutabagas.
shared, we're talking about rutabagas. But go ahead.
Oh my goodness. One thing that's just standing out, and this doesn't have to do with the air fryer, but Marla commented, and she said, it's so amazing that you both have stuck to the program during the pandemic. And, I have to say, Nicole and Mary, for both of you, just the fact that you really leaned into the structure and just, made the most of the tools that you had available, whether it was just HMR foods, or then you started to add pretty quickly in some veggies and fruits, and just the variety that you intentionally sought out and created throughout this journey so that you could have that duration on the diet that's so important. Just so inspirational. It just shows and really speaks to your commitment and just the support that the groups have given you.
Yeah.
As far as the recipe ideas and the cooking methods and all that good stuff. So
Right.
fantastic.
I know something we often hear is from our clients is about having the right mindset when doing the program, when doing the diet. So I wonder what you guys might say about the role of having that right mindset when you think about how closely you held to the commitments of the program and the structure, being in the box, meaning being, 100% on the diet. What would you say, Nicole? What would you say about having that mindset to really be all in?
Well, I think for me, it was just, like I said, seeing such dramatic change in such a short period of time. When I first started, like walking was a lot of work for me. The first time I went to the clinic, I was out of breath by the time I got to the door. You know, it was a long hallway and a long walk from the parking lot. And to think of, you know, as I had started working out and how much I was building my fitness by losing weight and being able to do more exercises. I always think about that all the time, how far I've come, and I can do things now that I never thought in a million years I could do. So that always helps keep my mind in the right spot. And whenever I think of, you know, kind of going off the rails when I run into a stressful situation or something like that, I just remind myself of that. I had a really stressful situation 2 days ago. My family ended up in the newspaper.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a positive story, but the comments on the article were not very kind. And that would have been a situation where I would have before just sat and ate everything all day long. And I was so proud of myself getting through that and not having to turn to food, even healthy food, you know, just having other ways now of coping with stress, especially, you know, through COVID, having kids home all the time and, you know, changes to work and things that everybody's going through in the pandemic, and being able to stay in the box and find different ways to cope with the stress has been life-changing for me, really.
Interesting how it's more than just a diet to you. It's really, the program has really permeated, it sounds like, other areas of your life.
100% changed my life, for sure.
Incredible.
For sure.
Yeah. So Mary, what about you, mindset? What would you say about that? Why is that important?
To me, I mean, I think like being successful this time versus other times when I've tried other diets, it's really all about the mind instead of, like, I know my body can do it. I've done it in the past, but I think the mindset, like the knowing what your why is and what's your reason for doing it. And until my why was strong enough, I wasn't ready to make the changes in my life. And the why became pretty critical when I realized, like, I was old. And I remember saying, I'm too young to be this old.
Wow.
2 years ago in February, my youngest son was living out in Hawaii, and I was determined to go visit him while he was out there. And that was, you know, long before, it was, you know, a year before starting HMR, and my knee was getting really, really bad and I couldn't walk, but I really, really wanted to go. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to go. And I finally decided I'm going to go no matter what. And I was 55 years old, and I had to get wheelchair transport between the planes because I knew I couldn't walk and make the connection between my planes.
Wow.
And being in the wheelchair, having someone have to push me through the airport just so I could go visit my son. You know, in my mind, it was just like, that was getting to the really low points and thinking, this is not how I want to live my life. And so I think that was the mindset that made me start thinking and really thinking about what I wanted my life to be. And I'm like, you got a lot of years left to live. You have things you like to do. You know, I have photography as a hobby, but I was finding that I'd look at the meetup group and I'd say, can't do that one because that's a mile hike to whatever it is. And I can't do that. And I kept saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And I thought, I don't want to live that way. And I don't want to be that person that has to be pushed around in the airport in the wheelchair. And
Erin says, Mary, she says, I'm too young to feel this old. Great quote. So true.
Yeah. And I think that was the mindset that pushed me through doing this and saying, yeah, this is not easy, but I don't want to be old when I'm not that old. I just can't do it. And, you know, and since then, where I look at where I'm at now, going from 2 years ago, being pushed between gates in a wheelchair and Easter weekend, voluntarily walking a 10K race.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Wow, amazing. I think that's a nice segue into talking more about physical activity.
You want to show Nicole's picture, Sandy,
I
and then we should
do.
talk more about that physical activity for
I
sure.
agree. Let me just get it all queued up here. So this is Nicole's before and after. And if you're just joining us, we're talking with Nicole and Mary, both lost around 85 pounds in the program. You've already missed Mary's before and after, but you can always go back and watch it. But let me just share with you Nicole's amazing transformation. It's like right before our eyes here, guys. Watch this. Look at that. Just incredible. Incredible. I'm wondering, where are you there, Nicole, in that first picture with the water behind you?
We were in Mexico.
Mexico.
Mhm.
Well, I think you need to book another trip. Because now you have a smaller wardrobe.
What's funny about that picture is I had just lost. I was like a low fat vegan in that picture.
Oh,
And
yeah?
I had just lost like 40 pounds. So when I was on that trip, I felt like I looked really good. And now I look at the picture and I'm just like, my gosh.
Mm,
Yeah,
just incredible. Just
it's amazing, amazing work.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So we do, of course, want to talk about another parallel
Yes.
between the two of your stories, and it's really about how far you both have come when it comes to your activity level. It's so compelling. When we talked the other day, you told us about some of the strides that you've made, and we'd love for you guys to share some of the biggest changes and the biggest accomplishments that you've had in regards to your physical activity. And of course, this is also a great time that we'd love to invite our viewers to comment about your own physical activity as well and some of the changes that you've accomplished. So Mary, how about for you? You want to start us off and tell us a little bit about your physical activity?
Yeah, so when I started this a year ago, it was miraculous if I could do a half a mile. Um, I live in a small apartment complex, and so just around like the little block was it.
Mhm.
And or whatever I could do in my living room. I bought a Wii Fit just so I could do something without having to go outside, and I would do like the bowling or the tennis. So I
Mhm.
was moving but didn't have to walk anyplace. And now now instead of just like staying in my apartment or doing the little block, I have access to walking trails without going anywhere, and 3 to 5 miles a day.
Wow.
It's nothing to go on the weekend and go out Saturday morning early and do 4 miles before, I do my stuff for the day. Like I said, I did a 10K Easter weekend. I'm on another Facebook group that has fitness challenges, and I'm earning virtual coins. I think I'm on my 6th race now.
Oh my goodness.
I started playing pickleball this spring.
Oh, fun.
Great.
And those people never saw, like, I just met those people and they're like, wow, you're really athletic. Are you a tennis player? And I'm like,
Oh,
oh, if only you knew. You had no idea. I
oh my
finally told
gosh.
them I just had knee replacement surgery, and I think I told a couple of them I had lost weight and how much, and they were astounded.
Mm. You
So
have an inner athlete, Mary.
Right?
Now it's an outer athlete.
my younger son actually said, because I told him about walking the 10K, and he was always my wrestler, football player, lacrosse player. And the other day he said to me, Mom, he says, the world's upside down. And I said, what do you mean? And he says, I'm an A student and you're an athlete.
Oh, wow. Can we just remind our viewers that you said 3 years ago you had to be in a wheelchair getting off an airplane to go from gate to gate and so forth. And here you are, your 6th race.
Yeah.
It's just incredible to me.
Yep.
Walking a 10K, it's tremendous.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely. Susan, and one of our viewers is saying she's really proud of her running. She could not run when she was obese, but now she can.
That's awesome.
Incredible, incredible.
Jessica also loves pickleball.
Ah,
Yay. I need a partner.
Hey, Jessica.
Where do you live?
John says, my physical activity went from almost nothing to now I can do 7 miles a day without a problem.
Wow.
oh, wow.
Fabulous. So
Incredible.
great. And Nicole, how about for you? Share a little bit about your physical activity and what you're able to accomplish now. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment?
Physical activity in general is by far the greatest part of this whole thing. I mean, losing the weight is awesome, but I love the physical part of it because prior to HMR, I didn't do anything like ever. I was not an active person, and my kids would want to go on bike rides and I would find reasons not to go. And then I got a Peloton in a few months before I started the HMR program, and I had started using it a couple days a week. But again, I wasn't really seeing any weight loss happen with it. And I thought, I just spent a whole lot of money on this bike. I'm not losing any weight with it. But then once I started the program and the weight started coming off, I got really into the Peloton. And I know if there's any viewers that are watching that have a Peloton, they know I could talk about this for an hour, and I won't. But I've also started the strength training through Peloton. And one of the biggest changes for me is that I went from somebody who literally just sat on the couch all the time. I mean, I sat on the couch to play with my kids all the time. That's how we interacted, to somebody that wakes up every day at 5 o'clock. I work out for an hour and I actually love it. Like if there's ever a day that I can't, like, I feel like my day, like something's off in my day. I'm a much better mom now that I've managed to fit me time in the day, and I use that time, for my exercise. I can do things now that I wouldn't even have tried 8 months ago. Like when I go on YouTube to look up a workout video, prior to this, I would have literally typed like easy exercise for fat people. Like that was my YouTube search. And now, like if I see high intensity interval training, it doesn't scare me. Or if I see somebody doing burpees, it doesn't scare me because I can do those things now. And that blows my mind. I did a couple of weeks ago, I did a 3-hour uphill climb ride on my Peloton. And when I was done, I literally just started crying because I was like, I can't believe that my body actually did that. Like I'm 44 years old and I'm doing things that I couldn't do when I was 30. Like it blows my mind. And out of everything that this program has given me, that is the one thing that I am so, so grateful for. And my health coach or educator at the clinic is a huge part of that because she's taught us so much about strength training, and something that I wouldn't have even thought about prior to meeting her. She's just taught us so much about fitness and the importance of exercise. And I'm so, so grateful for that because it truly has changed my life in so many ways.
Oh, it's tremendous. We're getting so many comments, Nicole. If we look distracted, it's because they're just coming so quickly.
About the
We're like,
Peloton?
Jessica
It's all
says,
good.
when you
Yes.
start to crave exercise, you know you've arrived.
Yeah. My son actually, he said to me, it was a couple months ago, but I was on the floor with my baby and I got up, and as I was getting up off the floor, I had picked her up and kind of like squatted up. And he's 10 and he looked at me and he said, you know what, Mom? I said, he goes, I've never seen you be able to get off the floor before. And it was just such a oh my gosh moment. Like your kids see so much that you don't realize they're seeing. I never thought he looked at me as somebody that was unhealthy or overweight. I volunteer at a school all the time. And as he got older, that was a fear of mine. I thought, I don't want his friends to make fun of him for having a heavy mom at school. And it never occurred to me that he was already at that age where they notice those types of things. But when he said that, I thought, gosh, and that was a huge moment to keep going with physical exercise because I want to set a good example for them. And it was just so emotional for him to say that he noticed I could get up off the floor where I wasn't able to before.
Oh my gosh, such an inspiration. Candace says you're both so inspiring. You're inspiring me, Nicole, right now.
Thank
I
you.
love that. I love that. Your kids are so lucky to have you
Thank you.
prioritizing your health and modeling that for them.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Such an inspiration. Coach Nancy says these PA accomplishments are so amazing. And I want to echo that and just say that, when folks start, and you both have said it, when you first started the program, you never thought you'd be where you are now. You've gotten your life back, as the title of our event says today. And I'm hoping this is an inspiration. We've got some folks joining us who aren't currently doing the program. In fact, I had a nice conversation with Becky. I hope she's watching today, who was just checking us out, and I invited her to the event tonight. And I can just imagine somebody who's thinking about losing 10, 50, 100 pounds, how just hearing your stories really makes it real for them and gives them hope, So thank you all for sharing. We're not at the end. Don't hop off, folks. But I just wanted to
tell you that when I started last spring, I honestly did not believe it was possible for me to lose 100 pounds.
So Mary, what would you say to somebody who's facing a 100-pound goal, with that in mind? What
The
would you
100
say?
pounds. It's not the 100 pounds. It's the what I do today. The 100 pounds will take care of itself if you just concentrate on what you do each day.
Excellent advice.
Great.
All right. Well, we've got a few more minutes, so we want to make sure we hear a little bit more about how your lives have changed. But I do want to acknowledge, Mary, you've moved to phase 2, kind of our longer term healthy lifestyle phase of the HMR program. Just touch on briefly, what do you find most helpful now that you're in phase 2? Talk about your experience so far.
It took me, I was 10 months in phase 1, so it took me a long time before I got to phase 2. So I was really, really looking forward to some variety in the food by that time.
Yeah.
And it was weird because like I ended up, it wasn't old foods that I missed. I wasn't looking forward to cookies or brownies or, like none of that. I wanted a piece of salmon. Oh, here comes Susie. And I have never been somebody who liked fish before, and I couldn't wait to have a piece of salmon.
Wow.
And I eat salmon at least once a week now. I'll get like one salmon fillet and I have half of it one day and half of it the next day. Salmon, grilled chicken, on the weekend to have like some scrambled eggs or make a frittata. And then those eggs go such a long way when you put the vegetables in it. And so I'm putting things back in, but it's not the things that I thought would come back in that I was excited about. So I love the variety. Oh, sorry about Susie. I love the variety and the foods that I can have. It's not all sunshine and roses. It's challenging.
Yeah.
You find that you have to plan as much on phase 2 as you did on phase 1, or it's too easy to start going, oh, that's an allowed food. Okay, I can have that. Oh, you can overeat allowed foods.
Yes, very, very well said. And one of the things in phase 2 we do practice, and it sounds like it's where you're at, is, learning those lean proteins and their correct portion sizes that we can enjoy in the right amount to enhance our health, and to just have something else you can eat outside of HMR foods and fruits and vegetables. And as you get into phase 2, you are able to add those things back in, and we kind of build those skills in around portion size and preparation so that they're, lower calorie cooking methods. So fantastic. Shall we move on into some before we move into quality of life improvements? Should I share this picture again? Because Nicole, you are wearing those shoes. I just noticed it. I gotta bring it back. Take a look. The after picture, she is wearing the shoes, Mary.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, you are.
there's
All
the
right,
eighth parallel.
Eighth parallel.
Eighth parallel. I think I might
Sorry,
have
I just had to, I happened to notice it out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, oh, I have to say something.
That's great.
Oh boy. All right.
Well,
Sorry to take us off track there, guys.
Yes, but we do want to make sure that we give you all time to share with our viewers, just how much your quality of life has changed, and give you an opportunity to share any additional insights that you have, or just changes in your life overall that you'd like to share with others.
Mm.
Who do you want to start?
Oh, Nicole, how about for you? Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
My list is pretty long, but I'll keep it short. Mostly the things that have changed the most for me are I'm no longer pre-diabetic, which was a really big deal for me.
Wow.
I'm now able to donate bone marrow. That was really big for me. I actually posted this in the group a while back. I didn't know this, but you don't donate bone marrow if your BMI is above a certain number. And my dad passed away from bone marrow cancer. So after he passed away, I thought I'm going to get on the registry, and then I wasn't allowed to. So when I finally hit that point where I was able to, that was the first thing I did. And that was so exciting. So that was a really, really big moment for me. I'm no longer on one of my heart medications. When my cardiologist first put me on the medicine after my heart failure, she said I'd be on it for 3 years. And one of them I'm already completely off of. It's only been 20 months. And the other I'm on the very, very lowest dose. And I have a feeling I'm probably coming off of that one too. As a matter of fact, now my blood pressure is really low all the time. So that's good news. I sleep better. I was at a point before where rolling over in bed was difficult for me. So my sleep has improved so much. When I used to wake up in the morning, I was in so much pain. I hated getting out of bed in the morning because I felt like I was 90. I was so creaky and slow. And now I literally wake up, I hop out of bed and go straight to the Peloton within 5 minutes. So that's been a huge difference for me. And just being able to play with my kids and go on bike rides when they want, and not have to panic about seeing a flight of stairs and worry that I'm going to have to climb it. I used to panic when I saw stairs. I would call places in advance and see how many flights of stairs were there if there was a concert or something. So not having to worry about any of that, being able to do things like jump out of an airplane if I want to, because I'm not at the weight limit anymore. Just everything is just so much better.
So compelling.
Great. It's amazing.
So I discovered a 9th parallel, Jen. They both feel younger.
Yes,
when
for
they
sure.
started.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Mary, let's hear some of your quality of life changes.
Like Nicole said, being able to just do things with my family, not always having to find the excuse of, well, I can't do that. Well, I can't do that. My sister calls now and says, do you want to go for a walk? And I'm like, yeah, how far do you want to go?
Yeah.
She came with me on the, on that 10K walk, and she couldn't believe, because she knows how limited I was. And so we walked, we got about halfway through it, and we came across a bench, along the trail. And she's like, do you need to take a break? You want to sit down? I was like, no, do you? She was like, I can't believe, she's like, you ready to, yeah. I'm like, let's just keep going. She's like, well, I need to stop and have a drink of water. I'm like, okay, we'll stop for you. That hasn't been me in 40 years.
Yeah.
When I used a backpack as a kid. She and I have never been able to share clothes, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, can I borrow that dress of yours? Oh, I like that whatever of yours. And I'm like, oh my God, we can share clothes. This is just that's it's silly, but it's a big deal.
It's just another reminder of what you've accomplished.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is.
And there's, Nicole, some of the things that you were saying just rang so true with me. I felt so old before, and I don't feel old anymore. Not being afraid of the stairs. We're back in school for 2 days a week, and I come in and I take the stairs. I don't automatically go for the elevator now. If we had a fire drill, I would be fine. I'm not afraid of, having to get down those stairs with kids running behind me.
Yeah.
We were out of work for almost a year. We didn't go, we left in March last year, and we didn't go back in the building with kids until February of this year. So people hadn't seen me in a year. And I had a blast when we first went back because people didn't know me. I'd walk down the hall and people who've known me for 10 years walked past me, and then I would say hello and they'd do a double take and turn around and wait a minute, you know, it was so fun. And then there
Wow.
was, you know, last week after I talked to Coach Rick on Friday, and this one was very emotional for me. My niece died 14 years ago at Virginia Tech, and there's been a memorial race every year, 3.2 for 32, and I've never been able to do it before. And I got off the phone with Rick on Friday, and I said, this is the day, and I want to do it on the day. And it was 41 degrees out, it was raining, and it was almost dark. And I put on my raincoat and I walked outside and I did a 5K in the dark last Friday night for her. And I've never been able to do that before.
Wow.
Wow.
So touching.
Amazing.
Thanks for sharing, ladies. Just incredible. I appreciate your openness to just be real with us today and tell us where you were at, where you've come from, how far you've gone. There are just some incredible outpouring of support from our viewers, and I hope you go back and read that because they're really showing you the love, but they're also showing some humor here. Nicole, you mentioned skydiving, and boy, folks have jumped on that one. Coach Rick says he's getting ready to rent the plane right now so we can pull that off.
It's on my bucket list.
He's not so sure about the skydiving.
Oh, but seriously, a lot of great comments from our viewers, and so many folks can relate to your journeys. So thank you again for sharing. So we're going to draw this to a close as I can't believe it's been an hour because it's been so much fun. But we hope that those who have joined in on the conversation today have found this to be an encouraging and inspirational time. I know I have. How about you, Jen?
Oh, I feel like this time has been such a gift. Thank you both so much.
It really
Such an
has.
inspiration.
Thank you for having us.
On. I appreciate it.
Yes. Well, you've truly both have accomplished remarkable things, and we look forward to keeping up with your continued success. And thanks to everyone spending this hour with us. And if you know people who might be interested in HMR, please share this video with them. It could be life transformational as it has been for Nicole and Mary. Thanks, ladies. Have a great evening, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.